G'day viewers, well my 2-part resin for the solar panels arrived. This should be enough. So yeah, it's about under a litre there, 750ml. I think that will cover it. Mix it up in a little paint trailer while I'll start covering this panel up. As I said, I've already sprayed it with pre-sprayed it with this stuff here, circuit board lacquer. This is good stuff. Yeah, there's a can and 3/4 worth all over that. It won't look pretty, but it's going to seal it. It's not enough to look pretty. Anyway, that feels pretty good. I'm going to seal it properly with some of this. This is supposed to be weatherproof resin too, which is good. You can buy a proper solar panel resin from America, but it's a bit expensive to get it here in Australia. This is an Australian made version. Max depth is 12mm. 1 to 2 hours, so once I mix I got 1 to 2 hours to apply it. I've got to get a little tray or something off of there. I've got a roller here somewhere. Best to use a foam roller. This makes a nice neat finish, gloss finish, so I'll use that. Maybe enough to get about the width of that. Down, down, half, then do the other half. Awesome. I've also got myself some Difluoroethane R152a. This is all that was left at my local Bunnings warehouse. That's all they had in the shelf, so I bought the last 3 cans. 350 grams per can. I've 100% Difluoroethane. I've made me a little adapter up. And I've stuffed it into this tank. I've used the burst disc to tap that into. There's probably about just over a kilo worth in there. It's about that much in the bottom of it. You probably get up to here and be safe of liquid. But I'll keep it to the weld line of liquid, just be in the safe side. The burst of this is 345 psi, but this smaller tank might be 200 and something, 250 or so. That will burst out. That's pushed in there. But if you want to mod these tanks just for your own sake, use a pin punch, a sharp pin punch and a hammer. Don't drill it, because then you put swarf and shit in the tank, and that's going to contaminate all the valve and your system you're going to use a refrigerant in. So that's how I made the hole. I took the primary disc out, the first layer of this plug, took that off, and then I smashed the hammer and sharp pin punch and make a nice neat hole without making any debris, nothing in the tank. Then I just stuffed the copper pipe in there. I think it's a 3/8 or so copper pipe. Soldered that in, filled it all with silver solder, and then stuffed this 5/16 tap over it, that much over it, and soldered that in. And that's my charging. And because this is a one-way valve, where you can only discharge out of that valve. So gas goes in here, we refill it, gas comes out there only. But do keep it safe, and don't go filling it up like the here, for example, with liquid. That's just stupid. You don't do that. That's how you blow yourself up. Same with propane or LPG gas bottles. Always follow the safety recommendations. There's Worthington's proper manufacturer. Always follow the spec and Google the spec for the tank. Don't just willy-nilly just fill it up to the bloody brim, because that's just asking for trouble. Just be safe when you do things like this. Yeah, just what I've done here. A little device I've made, because I don't really like can taps. If you ever want to get all the refrigerant out of a can, and you've got enough on a system, and then you've got another can that's not quite finished, you've got to leave the tap on the can. It just kind of gets... And they don't leak, but it might leak slowly through the seal over time, so the all bug. I'm going to make it a bit easier. It also makes charging by weight easier, having something like this. This thing can stand upside down on a scale, like a proper refrigerant tank can. So that's a good bonus. And you're charging by weight. And I think it's 30-something% less charge for R12 and 50-something% less for R152a systems charge for the difluoroethane. It might be the other way around, but I've got to confirm that. But basically what I've done, I've got some vinyl hose, some clear vinyl hose, which is I think it's a 5/16 in the diameter, a little bit smaller. I'll just use that, and that fits over these nozzles nicely. That's why I like this WD-40 brand. They're made for the job. These tins, they have a good nozzle on them. Where are we? They have these nozzles, and you put a hose in there or on the outside, which fits nicely in that vinyl tubing. Made for the job, so that's a big bonus. I've clamped it on there by some super glue. Had some wire, but it popped off, and yeah. Lucky I didn't give myself frostbite because I was quick and with my hands to shut the valves off and the hose off. But yeah, I've got some super glue on there. These high pressure hose clamps on the tubing, on the copper line tap tubing, and on the plastic part here. They're on pretty tight. It's not very strong mechanically. You just got to watch how you do it and don't break it while you're charging the system. And that's what I use. And that goes on there. You purge your lines, press the button to purge the hoses. I use the, I've even colour coded it with a yellow heat shrink from a yellow charging hose. That goes in your charging hose, you purge it, press the button, purge it, and that's how I got it in here. The same thing can be done with one going straight into a system in your compressor. It might be a bit awkward to sit the can down and weigh it, but you probably have to tear this and the can on the scale first, and then doing that to charge by weight. But I just prefer putting it all in here, having a proper canister. You can easily handle it, easy to put on a scale, and have a hands-free setup on a scale. It's less fiddly. So this will also work, and you can buy this brand at J-Car of duster cans, which is R152a. So it's the only way in Australia you can legally buy R152a refrigerant, and really then you spray it out in the atmosphere as duster spray. This will fit those cans. This will fit the R600 butane gas mate cartridges for your little camp stoves. So pretty universal. There's one in my shed. I think it's in here. Freezer spray by CRC. It's also R152a, which this would fit on that. So you can, there it is. There it is there. Freeze spray, 100% R152a, which you could just stick that on there and charge things with it. It's awkward. You can't legally buy R152a in Australia, but you can happily buy it in cans like this to spray in the atmosphere. Stupid how the laws here work. But R152a is good till about 2040. That's when it's going to be completely banned altogether, like R12 and CFCs. Yeah, HCFCs, or HFCs actually. HCFCs are a bit earlier, 2025 they're going to be completely gone. And HFCs like 154A will be completely banned by 2040. I think difluoroethane might be it's not a natural one, it's man-made. I think it's a hydrofluorocarbon, not a hydrochlorofluorocarbon. But it's more, it has a R152a has a GWP of 1,000 and something. This stuff here has 160 GWP, much lower GWP. So it's got to be easy another 30 or 40 years before this is phased out completely. So it's not harmful to the environment anywhere near as much as R152a is. The only thing R152a does, as I said, it's a greenhouse gas. And under the Kyoto Protocol, which they've dropped the threshold of how high GWPs can be now, so this falls well below that. So this is good for another for the years to come at least. So you can also get the 1234ZE, which is much safe as well for the planet, and it's not flammable. R1234ZE doesn't come in cans like this, though. It only comes in small cans like that, and you can only buy it online here. But it's a bit expensive. as opposed to buying cans of hydrocarbon refrigerant like this. This costs about 70 bucks here, when I can buy these 3 cans for the same price as this. So this is cheaper for me than buying this. This works out much cheaper here in Australia. Not regulated, and that's not regulated either. Anyway, what I did do though is pour the tank under a vacuum using the Panasonic fridge compressor. Left for a good solid 5 minutes and had a wet soapy finger over here, and no bubbles came out of the discharge. So yep, that's under full vacuum, she's ready to fill up. That's important, you don't want air in the system. You want to keep it 100% pure. Any air in the system can make the refrigerant not work properly and introduce moisture in the system in the refrigeration circuit. And that's not good. And a filter dryer will remove all that moisture, but it's best to keep the refrigerant as pure as possible for best performance. Anyway, yeah, I can't find it anywhere else but Bunnings. Seems to be the only place that stocks this. The auto shops don't sell it. J-Car doesn't stock this. This one is only at Bunnings sell this one. But when they get more stock on the shelves during the week, I'll grab a couple of cans here and there and keep my stock up and maybe fill it to here. But I'm going to do some safety research on these tanks first. This is what size tank is this? It's the same as an 25 cubic meters, 8.9 cubic feet. I'll Google it anyway and do some calculations and make sure that this well within the safety limits of this tank. But there's just over a kilo in there, which is bloody plenty. You don't have to use as much of this stuff than you would with R152a or R114 or R12 systems. Same with high chill, you use a little bit less, 30% less. This is about the same. You don't have to put so much in the system, so this should last me quite a long time charging fridges and stuff with it. And it's compatible with all oils. Miscible in mineral oil without problems, and PAG and POE oil. With those compressors down the back there, so it'll work in systems this old too, which is good. Anyway, that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.